It's J More, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we don't.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you all for joining. We're going to talk about the Time Traveler's Wife, episode 5, Barry season finale, which was excellent. Fire. Damn, it ended on a note that I was like, what? Shocked. And also the finale for The Baby. So we had 2 shows that I was reviewing in this week, which means next week it will be P-Valley and another show that I will be reviewing in that time slot. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming this week. I appreciate all the support. We're going to break down the show, talk about the episode. I appreciate everybody for, continuing to support the channel. We made it through another week. The year is halfway over. It's now June 12th. And time flies. So everybody be safe as always. Now let's get into it. So, this episode of The Time Traveler's Wife was unique because we got to learn a little bit more about her family. He met her family, Henry, and while there with her family, he time traveled. And when he time traveled, he got his ass kicked. Pull up. And what was interesting about that is, while he time traveled, he went to the future and he got to be with Gomez and hang out for a minute. Gomez then got fat. He a lawyer. But he landed naked on some biker dude. And while landing naked on the biker dude, of course, that pissed him off. Got into a fight. Henry got his ass kicked after he beat dude up a little bit and he fell on the bikes of other bikers. Then he got stomped. He got mollywopped real good. And what was crazy is Gomez came to the rescue. He must have told him to be there for this moment. And he got there, told him about cameras watching and all these other things. Scared the bikers off the beating his ass. They then began to talk. But Henry caught a L. He was beat up, bleeding, sore, bruised. After they talked in the bar for a minute, what was crazy is that he then time traveled back to the dinner he was having with Claire and her parents and her brother and sister. Now the crazy thing is they were covering for him because when he did disappear, he was in the bathroom like washing up. So he was gone for like an hour or so. While she was there covering up for him, she said that they got into an argument, a fight. Then she said, well, she was being judgmental. What messed up everything is you saying that y'all got into an argument, a fight, you was being judgmental. But then dude come down, beat up. So everybody thought that she beat his ass or something. It definitely didn't look right that you just said he's going to be coming down a little late. He ain't feeling too well. You guys had a fight. Then next thing you know, he come down, beat up, bleeding, dripping blood, all that stuff, which was crazy. Then they tried to cover it up. Of course, they wasn't on the same page. Henry didn't know that she said they was in an argument, a fight, whatever the case, entanglement, and he's dripping blood, he leaking. Her brother is just like a straight jerk, and he's a lawyer, so he's wondering, well, how come you didn't tell us he was beat up? She talking about she forgot. He said, well, how you forget he beat up, but y'all was just arguing? What came first, the argument or the beat down? Then he said, well, I slipped in the bathtub. This dude was beat up bad. Slipped in the bathtub and hit every piece of porcelain in the bathroom straight up. But anyway, she ended up snapping, cussing him out, her brother, and making a scene, which then took the heat off the situation. So that was pretty interesting. While I'm thinking about it, don't forget to put that hashtag JMoreReviews to get entered into the Cash App giveaway. All right. So, another thing about the time traveler's wife this episode is that we also saw that she's been telling her sister pretty much everything. Her sister kind of noticed when she was younger what was going on, and so her sister knows a lot about the situation, and she bust into the bathroom while he was getting ready, tried to throw herself all on him. Turns out she was just busting his balls and trying to see what he would do, messing with him. Now, she actually did like him, but she wasn't trying to be with him, but more so just liking to see his reaction and squirm and mess with him. Yep. So this episode pretty much was talking about that dinner and that situation, and as well as his buddy Gomez and how they became friends and best friends and different things that they had go on. But overall, it was a good episode visually, and it was all right. But it wasn't, I don't know. It didn't have something. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It looks like this is the next to last episode of the series, unless they decide to continue it. But from what I thought, it was going to be a limited series, so who knows? They may try to continue it, and if they do, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. From what I see, it doesn't seem like Henry is going to live long. Something happens, and that's probably why it's called the time traveler's wife, because he probably dies in his 40s. He was mad when she was asking questions and talking about how she loves the older version of him, and that picture of her drawing him butt naked on the rock in the little secret garden. He actually did have clothes on, but she liked them without him, of course. So, anyway, we'll see what happens, but he was trying to tell her, stop worrying about the future, stop worrying about the past. The only thing that's really important is the present, which is true, because once the past occurs, it's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. And the future is uncertain. So in life, make every moment count to the best of your ability, because that's all we can control and have something to do. Have something we could do about. If you don't do the right thing in the moments, then that's how you'll have regrets about how you acted in the past. You know, communication is always key. And sometimes it may be a tough conversation or something, but it's best to have it than do something irrational and then have regrets and have to apologize and do other things. So it's always good to focus on the present, try to make the best decisions and things you can in the present, and that's all we all can do. All right, let's see. Tamika, what's up, girl? You say you ain't watched the episode yet. You'll catch the replay. That's cool. It was a good episode. I'm about to give it the Moscow, and then I'm going to talk about Barry, which was super fire. What's up, Samara Barney? First in the building. I appreciate you for coming through, being first in the chat, ready, and I appreciate the support. My brother D Weave in the building. That Barry was fire. Yes, sir, it was. Don Ron in the building with the hashtag JMoreReviews on Facebook as well as YouTube. I appreciate it. I wish I had a lot more Don Rons, man. I might be somewhere in life. Ill Woods, another brother that got my back. I appreciate you, fam, for coming through with the JMoreReviews. Everybody else, don't forget to put the hashtag JMoreReviews. If I get 25 entries, you got a $10 Cash App giveaway. If we get 50 entries, I'm going to do a $20 Cash App giveaway. So don't forget to put the hashtag JMoreReviews. Of course, you can put it in on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you haven't set up a Twitch account, go ahead and set it up. The name is JMoreReviews on Twitch, and you got 3 entries just like that. All right. Montana Max was good with the JMoreReviews. I appreciate you as well. And so as well, Samara, I appreciate you for putting in the JMoreReviews. Now, let's go ahead and give this episode 5, Time Traveler's Wife, a Moscow, and break it down. All right, the Moscow is 4 simple categories, 25 points each, bringing the total for the episode to 100, and you can always round it down a decimal point to get a score of 1 to 10. And I always give a 0.5 flexibility margin of, decision in any direction. So, visuals and cinematography was pretty good as always. They show different ages of Henry, the way when he was fighting, all kind of other stuff. It's just a good camera usage, camera angles, top-notch cameras. And so I would give it a 20. We have storyline and plot. This storyline was good, but it wasn't too great for this episode. It was pretty much revolving around this dinner with her family and how he time traveled, and then that became an uncomfortable situation. And also how him and Gomez became friends. But overall, it was okay. I would give it a 15. And special effects makeup, very good. He really looked beat up. The way they do the time travel and all of that stuff, the disappear and all that, I know it's probably not much for special effects compared to what they could do with movies today. But for this type of show and episode, it was good. And I give it a 20. And lastly, entertaining, fun factor. It was entertaining. It was interesting. The replay value may not be that high, but overall, it was pretty cool. Worth one watch at least. And so I would give it a 20, which would bring it to a total Moscow of 75. Okay? 75 for Time Traveler Wife. episode 5. Typing it in. 75. There we go. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Barry. The season finale for Barry was fire. If you haven't started watching Barry yet, what are you waiting on? It's a few people that have started watching Barry because I recommended it, and they all love it. If you are one of the people that started watching Barry because I recommended it, let me know in the chat what you think and if you enjoy it, and we'll break it down. All right. So, the season finale for Barry, episode 8, season 3 finale, excellent. It left you on a cliffhanger, but that cliffhanger, I was like jaw dropped because it was so sweet and set up. So, Janice's father has been putting the pressure on people trying to figure out what happened to his daughter. And he put pressure on Mr. Cousineau. He had him face to face in the garage, and he pretty much broke him down. Now, we also saw that the guy, I can't remember his name offhand, but the Asian FBI agent that served in the military with Barry ended up finding Barry and gave him the warning that, hey, you need to cut it out. He kept asking Barry what happened, why did you do it. Barry just broke down and cried. He told him, you need to stop now. You have to leave all this stuff alone. And so when he caught Barry and told him that, Barry was actually disposing of body, because while Sally called him over because she wanted him to do some light stalking and terrorism work towards her friend, ex-friend / ex-employee who is now successful with her own TV show, she wanted to punish her. And while they was over there talking, he was telling her, this ain't what you want to do. I now know where I'm going to be when I die. I don't want you to be there. And next thing you know, one of the dudes that Fuchs put the battery in his back, found Barry there, knocked him out, and he damn near choked Sally out. I thought Sally was about to die. I mean, damn, it was close. It was not looking good for Sally, I'm telling you. And she found some type of knife or something and stabbed him in the neck all the way to the point where it came out his eyeball. I mean, that was woo. And it looked so real. Damn, it looked real. And so, when she popped him, gave him a little poke in the neck, next thing you know, he got up off her. Of course, he couldn't choke her out no more with a hole in your neck and your eyeball bloody. So while he trying to get that together, she get herself together. She pick up a bat and go straight Louisville Slugger Hank Aaron home run derby upside this dude's head. Beat the hell out of him. Barry is then finally waking up and sees what the hell has happened. She done beat the hell out of him, and it was really crazy what happened, in the sense that Barry stopped her and told her, hey, look, you didn't do this. I did this. And so he tried to get her to, not put too much in herself that she didn't kill the guy. And he was telling her, this is my fault. I did this. You didn't do nothing. I guess in a way to try to take it off her conscience. And so he told her to get out of here. You was never here. And so he was disposing of that body of that dude when the FBI agent came across him. So, I mean, that was crazy. At first, I thought Sally was about to die for a minute, and it was pretty good that at least she survived. But Barry, he don't want to kill anymore. He took the rap for that, and he was hoping that he can help her. He told her he loved her. He told her to get out of the, town. We gonna meet up somewhere. But she didn't tell him she was already at the airport about to go back home, basically, because she was going to Joplin, Missouri. He just said, we'll meet up. Let's go out of town, pick a place. She said, all right. And I guess he thought she was going to call him back and then let him know. But her ass was already on the flight, and she was Audi 5000, G. So, and Barry, when we last saw, was almost on death's door. He was pretty much ringing the bell on death's doorstep. We see that he woke up in the hospital, and the guy that had him in the back seat of the car actually did drop him off at the hospital and helped save his life. So Barry was able to survive the poison, but he had so much other stuff going on that it really wasn't that important because he going down. And what happened at the end was just crazy. But before I get to the end, what's up with No-Ho Hank? They try to torture me, huh? Cristobal. Hey, Cristobal, are you okay? They had Hank in some type of dungeon, and the neighbor in the dungeon was getting killed by a damn minotaur or something, a monster, a lion, a tiger, bears. Oh my. I mean, that was crazy. And it had Hank scared to death, hearing that person get torn to bits, ate up right next door to him, screaming, crying. And he was able to break his handcuffs on this pole that was kind of, I don't know, wasn't the best location, the handcuffs, all that stuff. But he was able to break free. And then once he was able to break free, the guard just came in, and he was able to take out the guard, get the weapon, and shoot the monster on the other side that was coming for him. And then we saw Cristobal being electrocuted, tortured, while she was trying to have some male stripper dance for him, talking about, "You te gusta? You like it? You like this, oh, Cristobal?" She was... That was crazy. But Hank came through and saved his boo. "Cristobal, I'm going to come and find you. I'm going to save you no matter what. I love you, Cristobal." He saved them crystal balls, boy, and put them in his pocket. So it looked like they gonna be together. They gonna be staying in love. He got his little boo. He saved him. And so, lastly, at the end of Barry, we saw that Mr. Cousineau, after getting interrogated by Janice's father, he called Barry and told him what happened, said he knows everything, and Mr. Cousineau was outside a dude's house with a gun. Barry is like, "Don't do this. Your ass need to leave. Give me this gun. Get the hell out of here." And so he told Barry, "Don't go in there. He's crazy. Don't do it." Barry went in there, snuck into the house. Dude was sitting there about to pour a drink. Right when Barry lifted the gun and he was about to take him out, all the SWAT team and everything that was right there in the bushes and in his backyard started telling him put the gun down, and just started coming all out of the woodwork on his ass. And he was surrounded. Dude turned around with his drink like, "Got your ass." And then what took the cake is after they had the gun secured and put the cuffs on Barry, he saw Mr. Cousineau standing there like. So Barry's screwed. I don't know how he could get out of that. We saw Fuchs is in prison. Talking about I'm the Raven. Like, man, what? Oh, girl bust up laughing. The damn prison guard laughed her ass off when he said that. I'm the Raven. So Fuchs is fuked. And Barry is screwed. So I don't know how he gonna get out of this one. We'll see. But damn, this could be the perfect series finale. But I believe they do have another season that they signed on for. So I don't know if they'll be able to do it. But I'm interested because they got Barry dead to rights, boy. Attempted murder. Caught in the act. So, damn. Not looking good. Alright. Time for the Moscow for Barry. Season 3 finale. Let's get it. Alright, so the Moscow is my rating system. 4 simple categories, 25 points each category, bringing the total score to 100. You can always round it down a decimal point to get a score of 1 to 10, and always give a 0.5 margin of discretion in either direction. So let's start it off. The visuals and cinematography, the way that they filmed it, the close-ups, the angles, the way that they were showing Sally beat the hell out of dude, but they was in the sound booth, and when Barry woke up and opened it, you could hear the beat down. The visuals of showing Sally getting choked out, all of that was top notch, and I give it a 25 for this episode for the visuals. Storyline and plot was very good. I like the cliffhanger. I like all the stuff they had on. It wasn't the greatest storyline and plot, but it was very good, and I give it a 20. Special effects and makeup. Wasn't too many special effects or makeup. Even when they beat the hell out of dude, they really didn't show it. So the costumes and all that, they just wear average clothes and things. So for this episode, I will give it a 15. And entertaining, fun factor, it was a very good episode. I liked it a lot, and I would give it 20, almost a 25, but I'm gonna give it a 20, which would bring this episode to a total Moscow of 80. All right, Barry season finale, I would give a 80. And that means on the score of 1 to 10, 8. You think it was an 8.5? I can see that. You think it was a 7.5? I think that's kind of low for this one because this was really good. So Barry was good, and I really enjoyed the finale. And I don't know how in the world they're gonna have him get out of this situation if they decide to come back for a 4th season. I'm not 100% sure there will be one, but if it is, because I believe they do have a 4th season in the works, I have no idea how they're going to pull it off. Lastly, let's talk about The Baby finale. All 3 of these shows were on HBO. The Time Traveler's Wife, Barry, and The Baby. Barry and the Baby. That sounds like a show. Barry and the Baby. Their finale was tonight. So, The Baby is a very unique show. For those who don't know, it's about this baby that has some type of powers that is able to manipulate people and make them hurt and even kill people. We thought he was a baby, but as we watched this show, we learned that this baby is like 30 years old, at least 30 to 40 years old. He's not aging. He was born in a very bad situation, and he might be the Antichrist for all we know. That's just my assumption. But it showed throughout the series that a couple of women that was trying to take care of him did crazy things and then all died. So Natasha is now stuck with the baby. She's gotten attached with him, doesn't want him to die. She has stopped different plans and plots and opportunities to kill the baby. And so while she's caring for the baby, we thought that she was somehow being spared by the baby. But this episode, we realized that that's not the case, and she's actually been doing some harm. She's blacking out. She was talking to some counselor in the beginning, and when things didn't go right, she was trying to tell the counselor to chill. Next thing you know, we see her leaving. Well, later in the episode, we learn the baby then had her choke the woman out. So she up there choke slamming people like the Undertaker, didn't even know it. We later see her father come by her house to try to help, and she was trying to protect him, just like she tried to protect the woman she choke slammed by trying to tell them, don't touch the baby, leave him alone. Well, we didn't see it happen, but then we later saw that she then went upside her father's head, and he was in the spare room unconscious. Later, her sister, Bobby came. Bob, what do you want? So she trying to help out. That didn't go right. She then went upside her head, and when grandma, Mom Dukes, she ended up going and waking up out the car because she was sleeping in the car out front. When she went in, she found Bobby in the closet with a plastic bag on her head, like a bag of weed. More like a bag of weave. Anyway, she put Bob in the closet like a bag of weed, bagged her up. She was in there suffocating. She saved her. They end up trying to get out of there, try to take care of the baby, and Natasha tried to come after them. What she ended up doing is stabbing old Mom Dukes in the side with a knife. Damn near took old lady out. So she ended up running away, getting in the vehicle, peeling off with the baby. She went to the very beginning of the movie, of the show, where that was that ledge where that woman ran and was about to throw the baby off, but instead she committed suicide and the baby fell into Natasha's hands. Before she was able to jump off and commit suicide while holding the baby and try to kill the baby, Bobby and old mama pulled up, tried to convince her to stop. They got to her, but then old mama took the baby and said, I hope that this frees you. And she jumped off the damn cliff. But the problem is she went in the water and she lived, and the baby she let go so the baby could just drop to the bottom and drown. We later saw at the end everybody was doing good, this, that, and the other, but the baby crawled to shore, so the baby didn't die. So who knows? They may end up making another season of The Baby. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. Overall, I think it was decent and something unique and different, unlike other things on TV. But I don't know. I would watch another season of The Baby just to see what happens. What does this baby do to the next person or people? They could make that baby do all kind of stuff if they wanted to. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, this finale was pretty good. After a couple weird episodes that's taken place, the last 2 or 3, this was a solid episode, back on track to how the show started, and I liked it. Alright. Wasn't as good as Barry, but it was pretty good. Alright. Keep in mind, I will be doing P-Valley and other shows starting next week. So I know a lot of people don't like the support unless you are doing a show they want to watch. So they only watch for the different shows, and they don't actually watch my channel or me. And I get it. So I did want to finish this since I did review every episode. So this is the finale. I'm going to give you a Mosco, and then we out of here. We'll talk about the other stuff next week. All right, the Mosco is my personal rating system with 4 simple categories, 25 points each, adds up to 100. If you was looking for a score of 1 to 10, you can remove a decimal point. There you have it. And I always give room for 0.5 margin of discretion. So, visuals and cinematography was pretty good. You get top-notch cameras. Some of the angles they show the baby is tripped out. How they show Natasha kind of black out and then do stuff, and it was unique use of camera work. Instead of just showing her do it, they kind of cut through and past stuff and then go back and revisit. So it was interesting. I'll give it a 20 for the visuals and cinematography. Storyline and plot, again, was interesting. Nothing for this episode that was bad, but nothing that was amazing as well either. So with that being said, I would give it a 20. And also special effects, makeup, costumes, really wasn't too much going on with that. She did stab Gramps, but it really wasn't too much where they showed her gushing blood or any of that. She popped her pops upside the head. We don't even know what happened with the end of that based on how the show ended. They didn't even show, were they back friends? What? Is he in the hospital? What happened to him? We don't even know. But overall, I would say that it was nothing really going on with that. And I would give it a 15. We saw the baby in the water, and then he wasn't. I mean, and then entertaining, fun factor. It was entertaining for the finale. I mean, I've been invested watching. This was the 8th episode. So by this time, I was kind of invested in the show. I give it a 20. So that brings it to a total more score of 75 for the baby finale. So, not the worst, not the best, but it was good. It was entertaining. I mean, if you sat and watched it for 8 weeks, you'd probably be in there like me. But I don't know. I think they need to do a lot more action. They could have did a lot more with this show. Some people, shout out to my girl Kelly, think she wouldn't watch it because it's too much crunchy. That's actually the problem, and she calls it crunchy, seeing people get killed or chopped up or different things. And I think the problem with the show is there's not any of that at all. They actually need that. I mean, that would have made this really good, to see people getting crunched up, chopped up, killed, different things, and actually show it. You would be like, damn, the baby did this and that. The baby had this person do that. But the lack of that visual and is left to your imagination. But then again, they don't even show a lot with that. I think that actually hurt the show. And if I had some input, I would actually increase all of the graphic things that the baby could be doing to people. Make it sort of like Final Destination or something, and have different things happening to people and the baby. And next thing you know, people is all messed up and dead and chopped up and all kind of stuff, and I would be dope. So, anyway, that's it for the baby. I appreciate everybody for watching. Do not forget to put the hashtag JMoreReviews in the comments, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We need to get at least 25 entries so that we can do a Cash App giveaway. Make sure if you're watching a replay that you get your ass here when it's live and participate. Get this money. If we get 50, we gonna do a $20 Cash App giveaway. I'm trying to go ahead and spread love the Brooklyn way, but I need that help. So let's help each other and let's have some fun. All right. I appreciate everybody for watching. I'm about to get out of here. Everybody have a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week coming up. And next week, I will be talking about on Sunday P-Valley and some other shows. So definitely be here and be ready. Everybody, I appreciate you. Be safe. And I'm out of here. Deuces. Take it easy.